on his International 1466. 436 cubic inches of International Harvester power under the hood here, the 1466. Second puller in your 4500 farm stock class, Steve Colstead from Stewartville, pulling another beautifully repainted, restored Farmall Super H. This one is a 1953. The General Motors 4-cylinder, each one having 53 cubic inches, so a grand total of 213 cubic inches under the hood of this 1950. That doesn't sound like much, does it? But the GM's a unique engine. This one's a two-stroke engine, so you get a power stroke on each revolution of the crankshaft. Oliver began using GM diesel engines back in 1954 when they debuted the Super 99, using the 3-71 series, this one using the 4-53 series. It always puts on a good show. And I will attest these are going to be factory RPMs on this tractor. Farm stock tractor class, but he comes to have a little fun every year in Wood River. Thank you, Lee, for bringing a beautiful Oliver 2255. And on the west, Andrew Kinnings from Stewartville, Grand Meadow, Minneapolis, Moline, Follow Z. Looking narrow front, 1456 International. That's right, you could get a lot of these muscle tractors still with the narrow front option, certainly declining in popularity relative to the wide front axle, but most companies still offer that traditional narrow front axle on these row crop tractors. And a nice looking example here, Chad Smith from Decorah, Iowa. International Harvester 1456 used the company's legendary 407 cubic inches of International Harvester power under the hood, which for the most part represented the last of their dry sleeve version engines. They would later be replaced by the wet sleeve version 400 series, which debuted in the 66 series tractors in about 1971. But in the late 60s, this was as good as it got in the IH stable. Chad Smith from Decorah, International Harvester 1456.
from Zimmerman, Minnesota on the Cox Shot Model 30, Scott LeFaber. On one of the featured tractors all the way from Zimmerman, Minnesota. And on the east side of Preston, Minnesota, Josh Simon, International and Harvester 1206. Chad Smith had a hook of 292.4. Well, he didn't get coloring books when he was 6 and 7. He was reading tractor manuals. Corey Ziegler out of Claremont, Minnesota, with his Oliver 2255. And on the far side, another dinosaur of tractor pulling vintage, Scott Marshall on his legendary F20. Factory 3208, Caterpillar engine, Oliver 2255. Ryman. Once again, Devin Nagle out of Preston, Minnesota, International Harvester, Formula 1206 Turbo. That concludes 13.5 farm stock. We'll have the results shortly. And on the far side, 2-cylinder power here, unstyled 1937 John Deere A, Alex Ryman from Wayland, Minnesota. First puller from Decorah, Iowa. Give a warm Root River welcome to Chad Smith on his 1456. Our first puller here on the east side. From Claremont, Minnesota, Corey Ziegler on his Oliver Super 77. The 1955 and 54 and 5 versions had the green wheels. 56, they went back to the red wheels by dealer and customer request. Run 5 miles per hour. You're going to see bigger tires. They're going to wind them up faster. They can have their drawbars shortened up and altered a little bit. Good example right here. Someplace in Wisconsin on a John Deere 4-cylinder. Veteran tractor puller Jerry Schultz, New Richland, Minnesota. Massey and Harris, 444. Out of New Richland from Mankato, Minnesota, coming back with play tractors with us again tonight. Give a warm welcome to Ben Michael on his 1940 Farmall M. Mankato. Occupying the same real estate in that town, the two companies sharing some rather common history there toward the early formative years of the organizations. But one that really put Massey Harris on the map and serious contender, big 4-stroke, 4-cylinder, gasoline, diesel, or LP, you can get these in. They even offered a 44-6, which features a 6-cylinder Continental engine if you so prefer. But by far and away, these were the most popular. The standard 44, a very venerable tractor for Massey Harris. International Harvester 1566. This was King Kong in the red world in the mid-1970s. It didn't get any better than this. Well, nice looking example of a Farmall M, one of two M's in the class here. Tonight, extremely popular tractor for International Harvester. This was the big row crop offering starting out in 1939, offered through 1953 when it was replaced by the Super MTA in the product lineup for 1 year only. 1954 was the only year the Super MTA was built. Raymond Loewy was the industrial designer. He styled these letter series tractors for International Harvester. He also did some work for Oliver and their styling in the 1930s. Did a nice job. International used their own, I believe, about 244 cubic inch gasoline engine in these Farmall M's. You could also get them in LP as well as the diesel version. And rounding out 12.5 farm stock, this is Josh Simon from Preston. International Harvester 1206. Example of 4430 open station. Don't see many like this without the cab here. Series debut in 1973. Of course, featured John Deere's legendary sound guard cab, but this particular owner opted without that particular option here. Get all
on a 1955 Oliver Super 77. Some expert driving skills here, trying to match traction to power. Should be a good hook. He's on deck. Cody Drinkall, if you're ready, go ahead. Cody Drinkall or Travis Kroneman. Now, Finn Ronkin from Canton, Minnesota on the Massey Harris 44. Built in Racine, Wisconsin. Big four-cylinder in-house developed gasoline engine here in the Massey Harris 44, about 259 cubic inches. Big high torque engine. The 44s typically do pretty well down the track. There, the first 100 feet to change gears, change their mind. I think James is going to downshift a little bit. Started out maybe too tall in gear. And on the west here, 5,000 farm stock. This is Cameron Guy from Grand Meadow, Minnesota. Good looking Minneapolis Moline Model Z. Made right here in Hopkins, Minnesota, the Minneapolis Molines. This is some of their first tractors to feature styling in the late 1930s. Head-to-head with the Farmall. This was the Rowcraft tractor featuring adjustable row spacing. Nice example of an early one here without the styling. Leading us off at 5,500 farm stock. For the Farmall Super MTA, 1954 was the only model year the Super MTA was offered and debuted International Harvesters. Took the industry by storm. The torque amplifier provided a 2-speed shift on the go, a high and low in each one of 5 forward and 1 reverse speeds. Farmall Super MTA.